And welcome back to another edition of our Talk It Out sessions presented by VERB. We are your hosts, Aaron Tate, Adrian Poe, the lovely Jasmine Patterson behind camera. Everyone say hello to your future selves.
Hello.
So if you've been catching our other videos, you know what we like to do is we like to pick a specific topic, particularly one that is controversial in the world today. We like to discuss it. We come up with different talking points and questions to ask throughout the discussion. But we also like to get you guys involved as well. So for those of you tuning in, please feel free to comment and ask questions if you feel like you want to add to the discussion and the conversation as well. So today is going to be part 3 of a series that we started a few weeks ago called What Do You Bring to the Table? It's a 4-part series. Each video we've been discussing different traits or characteristics that we feel are more important to bring that takes precedence over the more common things that people name, such as like cooking, cleaning, a paycheck,
and
good sex. So today is part 3 of that installment. And we can recap on some of the things that we've talked about in the first 2 videos, just in case you missed those 2. If you want to go back and watch those other 2 videos, you can always go to my YouTube page, type in Aaron Tate, and you should see my face. You can click on it and you should have access to all of the videos that we've done so far. Adrian also reposts these videos on his Facebook as well. So please go back and watch those 2 videos if you have not seen those 2. But again, today is part 3 of What Do You Bring to the Table? All right. Shall we begin?
Let's get it.
We shall.
All right. So far we've discussed 10 things, or really like 14, 15 things. Because as we've gone,
Leave it to us.
as we've listed them, we've come up with new ideas and perspectives. The next thing we're going to discuss to bring to the table, and in regards to a relationship, is cultivation. Cultivation.
Let's get a definition,
So let's
just
look
to
up a
be
definition.
clear on what we're about to discuss.
So I feel like you're trying to pressure me.
You
but,
know, it's not
we'll
pressure.
take that then.
It's
We'll take
just,
that.
you know,
I feel like you're gonna make me adhere to the definition.
little clarification. That's all. You know.
Let's see what we got.
All right. So the definition of cultivation is the action of cultivating land or the state of being cultivated. Or a second definition is the process of trying to acquire or develop a quality or a skill. I like that second one.
So read the second one
So
again.
the cultivation, the process of trying to acquire or develop a quality or a skill. So some synonyms would be improvement, bettering, education.
Okay, then. I see what you was doing there.
So,
Okay.
so why would cultivation need to be something that's brought to the table, in your opinion?
Oh, I know. Adrian, I was gonna leave it to you.
No.
You know, I like to play off of you.
Okay, cool.
You know, I need to see where your head is at so I can know if I'm going in the right direction.
So cultivation is really key to bring to the table because you can, get with somebody in a relationship and everyone is going to be on a different level. You're never going to meet anyone where you're totally equal on every single level. So if you don't have the ability or the mentality to cultivate or help cultivate, that's going to create friction and conflict because say I have the ability to effectively communicate. However, I'm dealing with someone who doesn't have the ability to effectively communicate. For me to continue to pour out effective communication time after time again, and then I have to apply patience, and then I have to apply emotional intelligence, then I have to apply sympathy or empathy. At some point, I'm using a lot of traits that I'm bringing to the table, but if I don't understand that at some point, because of my level, I have to have a cultivating mentality. The very first sign that that individual is not equal to me, I'm going to disregard you. I'm going to belittle you. I'm going to throw you away. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to give up on you. And can you imagine all of those mentalities once I put out all of my traits, but I don't have that cultivating trait? Can you see where that relationship is going? Nowhere fast. Because if I don't understand that regardless of all the other traits that I've displayed, having the mentality to cultivate, it actually holds those traits together in a relationship. Now, by myself, I don't need that. But in a relationship, if I'm displaying all these other things like effective communication and emotional intelligence, effective communication, all of that, if I don't approach that individual, which is wife, friend, brother, whatever, with I also need a cultivating mentality, the very first sign that you're not on my level, I'm throwing you in the trash. And a relationship is gone.
Yeah, for me, I think that we can even relate that back to what we talked about last week as far as being goal oriented or setting some goals. Like you mentioned with the other traits, effective communication, emotional intelligence, sympathy, empathy. If we set a goal for those things for us to be able to have those things or work on those things for our relationship, then cultivation has to be an element of reaching those goals or creating a plan to reach those goals. Because if these are goals that we set to reach together, then obviously if one's lacking more than the other one, then that other is going to have to help cultivate the other to help acquire that skill per se or quality.
Thank you for saying that, because I was about to go right into those questions. Like,
What question?
who exactly is being cultivated?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah. I
who
mean,
is like, what are we doing with that? Like, it's one person, like you said, lacking, and then the other person should assist with this cultivation in whatever skill that they need to be developed in.
But it's really dangerous to not have cultivation because me personally, in the past, before maturing, I've experienced great anger and great regret and great stress because I didn't understand that since I've reached this level of effective communication, patience, tolerance, sympathy, empathy, emotional intelligence, I had to also understand that my partner is not going to be there as well because I have hobbies that stimulate those areas. Like I read a lot of books. I practice information. I do a lot of research. You may be dealing with someone who doesn't do those things. And if you're going to be in a relationship, if you decided to be with that person, you can't expect them to currently be on your level. Prior to me understanding that, like I had so much anger in me when approaching my wife or my friends because it's like, I spent the last 3 months and I read 6 books. Why are you so ignorant? Why are you so dumb? You the stupid. Like, I'm telling you, like, it literally, without a cultivating mentality, it creates a sense of pride that's like negative on you. Pride is okay, but if it becomes a sense of, I'm puffed up to the point to where I'm spending $300-$400 on books a month, but then I see you eating chicken, but then every time we communicate, you dumb. And I'm just speaking from a perspective. I'm speaking from a perspective prior to understanding cultivation is necessary.
Right.
This is a real thought process when I'm talking to someone who I just saw you Saturday on Facebook, Snapchat turned up. I spent my Saturday reading information that's going to be conducive to my life. So now we talking. I'm like, you got to be the dumbest person I've ever met because you don't understand A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But the reason that I understand that is because I use my time to gain understanding. You're currently not at that level. And before I understood cultivation is a trait that I need to have, everybody is dumb to me.
Even taking it a step further, the same thing can be said for why people cheat on themselves. It's because they don't understand, okay, we have to have cultivation in this relationship if we're wanting our partner to fulfill those things that we feel like we're lacking. Without cultivation, the only thing you're going to be focusing on is what is my partner lacking.
Yeah, what the frick is wrong with you?
Right, and where else can I get this from that I'm looking for?
Don't.
Calm down. Not yet.
That's it.
It's too early.
That's legit.
It's too early though.
Say that again. That's legit.
Without cultivation, people are so concerned with what their partner is lacking, and they get caught up in trying to find that in somewhere else or somewhere else. That's where addictions or vices come into play. But I think how you mentioned maturing to the point where you understand, okay, cultivation has to be added into this relationship in order for me to be more confident in staying faithful to my commitment that I made to myself into this relationship. So yeah, that I'm glad you say that because it just clicked as you were talking.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons why people
And
cheat.
I don't want people to, think you think you smart or you think you're better than people because once again, I didn't prior to understanding cultivation had to be something that I added and worked on. I didn't understand that. So I get it now, but I'm telling you, like you said, like it literally will have you trying to figure out where if you dumb like that, then I don't think she's smarter than you. So because I didn't have cultivation, I'm cheating on myself because now I think that I can get this skill that you lack from someone else. But now that I understand cultivation, when you lack, I'm not now focused on what you're lacking. I'm focused on my cultivation ability to provide that.
Right.
It's
And
good that you
yeah, I speak on that from even personal experience. Like in a relationship a long time ago, I felt like I was matured in a lot of areas.
So what the freak is wrong with you?
Right, my partner wasn't at the time, and it was like, you need to get it together.
Because this ain't that.
But it was so easy for someone else to come around who did have all of these traits, and I was like,
that looks interesting. That looks good, yo.
so yeah, bro, we need that cultivation.
For real.
On the scale of 1 to 10, what do you think cultivation would be?
After hearing the conversation, I'm definitely going to say a 10. I think cultivation is important, the way that it was explained here. Because I was like Adrian, I had that mentality where, if I just learned something new or
You should
if
know
I,
it too.
Correct. And I can't do that because everybody's
We've all
not built
done it.
I
like
still
me.
do that sometimes. Like I have to kiss myself. Like, okay.
But it kind of keeps me away from that because it does put us in a position of trying to judge someone because they're not on the level that I am. And then not only are you not on this level, I'm not doing anything to help you get to this level.
Yeah.
Like
So
I'm
look at me.
just right.
I need to look at myself.
Like I just want you to look at me and then learn.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you dumb.
Then you
like
dumb.
no.
What the freak are we doing here?
Freaking yeah.
I had to stop that. So yeah, I would definitely give cultivation a 10. It's very important.
Let me add a little side note because I feel like Jazz be like, the freak this nigga talking about cultivation. But then when we lay it out, it's like,
All right.
Now that I've gained the understanding, I can, properly give my answers and my rank.
So I respect that then. I respect that you don't try to answer prior to gaining the understanding. I'll give you that.
That's stupid.
I'll give you that.
I can't do that because then we're going to do how we used to do it.
Sideways. We're going to be here banging.
And then I didn't even finish hearing the message because I just heard you say that little piece and I'm ready to go.
With it.
Now I got to sit back and listen. I have to
So
listen
for
to
those of you who
understand.
watching, Jazz is a female and she said when two males are talking, she has to stop and continue the full sentence before speaking, is what she said. Go ahead, though.
Thank you for that reiteration.
I just had to make sure they knew what I said.
Yep, that's exactly what they heard.
You're serving as an example for everyone.
The
else.
world.
Yes.
So what would you give it a rank? What are we ranking at?
I might break the scale and say 11.
Ooh,
Off the real?
okay.
Cause I
If you
Just
don't have
from
that, the
personal
other ones don't really benefit you.
Because again, like I mentioned before, if we have a goal to build effective communication or to have emotional intelligence, sympathy, empathy, but I have all of those traits, but you don't.
You're ignorant.
Without cultivation, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like,
Screw you. She got it.
again, I'm only going to be focusing on the lack thereof versus focusing on helping you get to where we're now eye level. You know what I mean?
So then you kind of got to ask yourself, like, are you like, what are you, attracted to, or what are you drawn to? Because if you know that they lack these things, then why are they still, a factor or somebody that you still want to, be with or hang out with or have conversations with? You know what I'm saying? Like
Cultivation helps that. Let me tell you how.
Okay.
If you were here, he would be hitting you.
Bruh, if you
So thankful.
listen,
You don't even know.
so let me explain how cultivation helps that mentality. So your question is, you would have to now question yourself, well, if I know you're lacking, then why would I be drawn to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the ability to cultivate. Your lack, like Aaron said, is no longer my focus. What's my focus now is my ability to project all of these qualities that I have. But if I don't have cultivation, I can have all these qualities, but they will never be projected upon you because I'm not focused on that. I'm more focused on, I have them, they're mine, you're ignorant. But if I have the ability, the characteristic of cultivation, even though you have all that lack, I can cover you with my ability to cultivate. So now I can now be attracted to pursue you.
Like I can.
So if you can fix it, you still like it.
Yeah, I feel like I can fix it because I have the tools. It's kind of like a teacher. Like the reason teachers want to be a teacher is because I went to school, I learned this, and now I understand it to the point to where I want to teach it. And I know I'm teaching it to people who've never heard it. So there's going to be different learning styles. There's going to be trials and errors. But I have that cultivating mentality to where I'm going to continue to put this information out there. And now that attracts me to the course of teaching.
I feel like patience wraps up into this.
It all wraps up into each other.
I mean, if you think about this cultivating word, like it's just like I'm doing.
And we don't know how long it's
like
gonna take.
Right, and
we don't know how long it's gonna
I
take.
don't know if you're gonna catch on. So now I got to, because I said I brought patience to the table.
I got
to be patient with you, and I got to really work with you and cultivate you, as you said, in order to make this relationship work
for however long it takes.
Patience was a what again? Did we break the scale on that?
Oh, okay. So you got
to make sure we broke the scale.
I feel like there should be a stopping point somewhere.
You broke the scale. When the scale is broke, you have to ride it out. Unless it gets toxic to the point of where it's...
There we go. Okay.
Then we can get out.
We got some wiggle room now. She was looking for that wiggle room, bro.
Gotta be a door somewhere. There has to be a door. There has to be a door somewhere.
Some kind of loophole.
Yeah, unless it gets toxic to the point of where it's like...
No return.
Yeah, then you got to get out.
Yeah, for sure.
But... don't be trying to cultivate a field that's not lucrative to growing good fruit. But if you see, it may be a little seed sprouting up. You got to watch that seed grow.
Right.
Okay. Might just need a little more fertilizer.
And a little more water.
A little more rain this season.
A little sun.
It's a drought this year.
It's a drought this whole year. Don't expect nothing to grow this year. It's not.
All right. Monique says, I like your shirt, Adrian.
Thank you.
And hello, Monique. Shay says hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Evangelist Alicia Warren.
Hey.
Hey, Miss Alicia.
We should have kept the same energy for Monique and Shay.
Hey. Oh, look at y'all. Okay.
Our bad.
Okay, so she said, set boundaries and either distance yourself from the person put up a boundary and either distance yourself from the person or in the relationship entirely. There is no point in having relationships that make you feel bad, drain you, and leave you resentful. There is no point in having relationships that make you feel bad, drain, and leave you resentful. I believe her comment repeated itself.
I think she came in on the part when we were talking about if it becomes toxic to be using cultivation.
See, she also said that's right, Adrian. And yes, Adrian, iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
Shay says right. Monique says hi, Jazz. No, y'all can keep that hey. And Shay said, Monique, we get a week hey. Ooh, that's it.
You know what? I take it back.
No, don't take it back.
Did I not acknowledge it though?
He brought it back up.
But don't take it back. Don't be mad if they bring it up to just say that it was weak.
So they're not gonna bring up my acknowledgement?
I'm pretty sure they did. They just did. They said that they hear the week, hey, but it was.
Let's move on. We'll deal with them.
Yeah. Don't talk to them like you ain't gonna deal with them like nothing, and that's it for right now.
Okay. So cultivation.
Don't grab your forehead. Don't grab your forehead.
Cultivation is an 11.
Patience. Patience.
What did you give cultivation?
I gave cultivation a 10.
Okay.
You gave it off
an 11.
So to be honest, and prior to even making this list, like I never fully knew how this stuff is so tied into each other.
It really is.
It's like everything is like
can't have it without
looping other stuff in.
All right, so the next thing on the list is teamwork. Teamwork. So me and my wife bought a TV, right? 50-inch. It's like $230.
Gold trigger. Pause control.
Right. Sir.
All right. Let us know how this is tying into Taylor.
So we bought a TV, right? But we had to buy a TV stand for the TV to go on top of. Because we're just not going to have a TV on the floor. That's what we're not going to do, right? So we bought a TV stand. And, of course, neither of us have put together a TV stand before, right? So open up the box, took out the instructions, and we decided to tackle this thing together.
That's it.
Initially,
I see where this is going.
we decided to tackle it initially, right?
Okay.
Throughout the process of putting together this this TV stand, so me and her have two different methods of doing certain things. She is the type that she sees something and she just goes.
I can do it
without even assessing the situation,
you
right?
Can't swim.
Me, on the other hand, if I'm going into something that I have no prior experience with, I need some sort of guidance, right? So I'm more into reading the instructions. She's like, no, I just see pieces. Let me put them. Let me figure out which one goes, right? So throughout the process, we're bumping heads because she's thinking that a piece goes one way, and I'm like, well, the instructions say otherwise.
The people who made it.
The instructions say otherwise, right?
Calm down, yeah.
So there's times where she didn't listen to me, and she tries it, doesn't work. So I say, okay, well, let's try it how the paper says J goes to Z. So let's try J and Z. Put J on Z, it works, right? So throughout the process, we're steady bumping heads because we didn't stop to acknowledge, okay, there are two different methods going into this one project. Let's figure out which method is best to get this project done, right? Once we finally stopped stepping on each other's toes, we were able to effectively put together this lovely TV stand that you see now and set our TV on top of this TV stand. I say all of that to say, without proper teamwork, we ain't getting nothing done in life, yo.
When you first started telling this story, I seen so many. It's one of the things, again, I didn't realize how important this skill is. Yesterday, me and my wife was beefing, like Scar and Simba.
Ooh.
Like, I'm talking like holding him over the cliff, looking in his eyes. Like,
She Simba.
No. Oh, yeah, she was Simba. I was definitely Scar. Definitely Scar. So, we was trying to decide on whether we're going to get some furniture, right? And I said, well, I don't think it's a good idea to get brand new furniture right now. She was like, well, okay. And I presented to her why I didn't think. Because when we was headed to work, I was like, well, she's excited about new furniture because the last thing she heard me say was new furniture. So let me update her on why my process is changed to give her a new perspective.
Right.
So I'm presenting to her, this is why I don't think we should get new furniture right now. The only thing she heard was, we're not getting new furniture right now. And that really wasn't what I was saying. Mm-hmm. So we got to work, and we were still trying to communicate about furniture, back and forth. And then, prior to me even whatever, I was like, okay, we're going to take your route. I just gave it up.
Here.
I don't care. Forget these numbers. Forget these bills. Forget these notes. Forget all of it.
Forget this land tax.
Forget all that. We finna get new furniture. Do you want to go? Guess what she said?
What?
No. So, we got in the car, and I just couldn't fathom how we got to this level about furniture. This ain't about the school Noah going to. This ain't about, a major surgery.
All right.
Talking furniture. This right here. Mm-hmm. So we got home, and fast forward, I had to come back, and I was like, let me explain to you the way I process information. Because I realized, like you just said, the way you're coming to your conclusion and the way that I'm coming to mine are two totally different things. So if I give you not information, but my perspective, it'll probably make this make sense. So I gave her my perspective of how I calculated information. And we came to a conclusion. And it's like, when you said, like, when you have two people who are working together to accomplish something, because the mission was what we're going to do about furniture. Mm-hmm. We have two totally different ways. One, I see it, I want it, which is normally the female. Shade. I'm playing. Not really playing. But we also have...
Don't
do that.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, we worked so long.
I'm playing. Put it back.
No,
I'm playing.
Push it back down, baby.
But then we have other perspectives of logic. I need step by step. I need these numbers to make sense. I need this. I need that.
All right.
Unless we both can acknowledge that we're approaching this differently, so that we can then realize that, okay, well, we may both be approaching it differently, but what is the most effective way to get this thing done?
Right.
And in your situation and ours, it wasn't until we both acknowledged that we have to work together. We can't approach it from two different perspectives, because we're going to constantly bump heads.
Because you're trying to do one thing
and I'm trying to do another. But I have to keep reminding myself and my wife, when we are at odds, I say this all the time now.
We're on the same
team. Like, that brings me back, because I will take it there. But I have to keep myself reminded of, we own the same team. So teamwork has to be a 12. Like, I have to put it above
cultivation.
Like, because if I don't have teamwork, I ain't finna try to cultivate you. I don't care about you at this point. Or that couch.
But it still kind of works hand in hand.
I mean, yeah, it works hand in hand, but
teamwork.
Patience.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm back.
So, my thing with teamwork, I feel like that is very important.
However.
No, there's no however.
Okay.
It's just, I feel like it's super important, but I think mostly when couples are doing something together, like they're both just trying to like dominate the situation, instead of, like you said, like looking at each other and being like, look, we're on the same team. We got to get this TV stand together. Like, we both want this TV on the stand. So like, I feel like couples that do constantly probably cause a little friction, because they feel like they can take care of it more than the other. I feel like there just needs to be some type of healthy balance in order for that to be successful.
There needs to be a conversation had.
Yeah, at least before, like, just so that we can understand. So ain't nobody getting, confused or misunderstood or misheard while we're trying to do it.
We on the same. Man, I'm telling y'all, that has brought me down off a lot of ledges. Like, we on the same team.
Yeah, I'm gonna give teamwork a 10. That's my rank.
We on the same team.
You guys watching, what do y'all think teamwork rank should be? Aaron, what you got?
I'll agree with the 12 as well.
12?
Yeah, because, I mean, it goes back to goals, right? We set goals. Now and we come up with a plan and we have a vision for that goal. Now we have to determine how are we going to work together to reach this goal. What role is each of us going to play in service of reaching this goal? What can I do on my end that best service us meeting this goal? What role do you need to play on your end to best service reaching this goal? So for me, it's a 12, because without
cultivation and teamwork go hand in hand.
I'll say it's really like,
because in order for us to come together before and have this conversation, you might be lacking in the step process, but I'm here to cultivate that so that we can find a way to work together. Yeah. But another thing we have to stop doing is like making whatever we're saying seem right. Just explain it. Like with your situation with the TV stand. If she was just trying to put it together, then sometimes, like you said, some people are different. She might have been needed to have it visual. Show that the pieces following the instructions go together, so that she's like, oh, okay, let me do that too. With your situation, it could have worked the exact same way. Just talk about it, make her understand.
Before anybody put their hands on it.
Correct. And then at that point, we got to understand it, and now I see where you're coming from, and now we can work together.
That makes a lot of sense, because by the time we're bumping heads, we've both already put our hands on it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, by the time we start bumping heads, we're only bumping heads because we both got a piece of whatever it is, thinking that this is going to get resolved.
We holding it like
like That's it. Like, no, we shouldn't touch none of it until the conversation is had. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Alicia Moore said, whether it's raising children or paying bills, teamwork skills are essential because it promotes bonding and trust between a husband and wife and later a family. She also said teamwork is also being able to offer and accept constructive criticism and trust yourself, trust your teammates, and stand by one another when issues or mistakes arise. Miss Alicia says she does give it an 11. Tawanda Wesley, she gives teamwork a 10.
Legit.
Monique says, yes, teamwork is definitely a 10 for me. Shay says 10. Angel Crandall, she agrees with the 12. Miss Alicia Moore said, share the goals of the team and work toward them.
What's the best for both of us? What's best for this team?
We on the same team.
We on the team.
It's kind of like we trying to get to the same destination, but like you want to take exit 63, but I know 96 will get us there faster. Right. But who said we're trying to get there fast?
Right.
That's me.
Right.
I grabbed that fast. You grabbed that.
And I'm glad you said that because it's like it's not necessarily that either method is right or wrong. It's just what's the most effective method for what we're trying to accomplish. If we're just trying to get there but not necessarily fast, then exit
63 is fine.
Makes sense. But if we're on a deadline,
we gotta hit 96.
That's a part of teamwork. Just recognizing the different methods that are brought to the table and coming to a decision on what's the best or most effective method in order to reach this goal that we set out for ourselves based on the circumstance.
And you see, the only difference in what you said is the goal is we're trying to get there. But when you say we're trying to get there fast, that one word now has changed
the entire circumstance. Yes.
So if we don't have teamwork, you may miss the fast. I may just be like, hey man, we gotta get to school.
Right.
In your mind, like, why you taking 96? Like 63 is faster. But I didn't say fast because there's something I know because I'm the one thinking that I'm driving.
Right. Or like with the TV stand, Monique might have been under the impression that we have to hurry up and get this done. Yeah. So forget the instructions. Let's just figure it out as we're going.
TV. It's not a bomb.
It's not going anywhere. Let's take our time with this and put it together properly. So yeah, patience.
Miss Alicia Moore says, yes, Monique, you make great points. And Monique is a 10. That's what Miss Alicia Moore said. Wow. She also said, recognize and respect the efforts and ideas of others. I agree with that as well. Because, I don't know, I just feel like constructive criticism can be like helpful and harmful, I guess. Depending on maybe what it is. I just feel like you need to initially always go in with respect before it gets ugly or before it has to get to that point. Like, you can tell me a way for me to improve without sounding, like you're right. So like you don't have to talk at me to just explain something, like just for me to understand. Because again, if we're on the same team, you want your other teammate to understand what's going on so that we can accomplish that goal. You have to remind yourself
we're on the same team because a lot of times it don't look like we're on the same team because you're trying to go 63 and I know 96 is better.
But constructive criticism can never be harmful. Criticism can be harmful, but when it's constructive, I think that's always helpful.
I apologize for that. Thank you for clarifying for me, Mr. Tate.
Hold on.
Calm down. Okay. Don't read too much into it.
All right.
There you go. You always ruin it.
See, when we try to appreciate and praise you don't want it,
No. Okay, so teamwork. I rated it 10. I rated it 10. Y'all giving it
12.
All right, so that's pretty high. And again, because we've already discussed cultivation, it also ties into teamwork. Look at us wrapping it around.
Patience and goal orienting and planning and vision, mental stability. All right, so the next one on the list is understanding.
And I'm glad that came next because you said something just then, and I think you said it as well. I don't know which one y'all said it.
It was probably me.
Of course. But y'all said we have to understand that a lot of times it's not a right or wrong.
That was me.
It's what's the best method to accomplish this goal. Like that line there explains understanding by itself because a lot of times in a relationship we approach it with the way that I'm doing it is right. And it's I have to I have to remind myself, and I have to be when me and Swan is at odds, I have to tell her it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about like us just hearing each other out
and understanding.
Because you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, yes. But can you at least understand what I just said and how I arrived at that position? And this is something I really just learned because I used to have it bad about what comes out my mouth is that's law. Like that's the 11th commandment. You hey, settle.
I apologize.
Your shoulders are
I was just agreeing.
Okay. And I had to swallow the fact that just because I say it and it's well thought out, that doesn't make it right. That's how I perceive it. And I had it bad about when Swanee responds or when Swanee says something like, I hear you, but you really ain't talking about nothing. Like, you ain't talking about nothing.
You ain't making sense.
So
right
what
now,
I just said is stats. You just gave me something, but I'm giving you stats. And it's like, well, let me pause and not what she said is right, but can I at least understand how she arrived at what just came out of her mouth? Not I agree, not I accept. Simply, how did she get there?
Check your mic real quick.
Can y'all hear us pretty good?
Yeah, it's still blue. So
yes, it is.
Okay. So yeah, understanding is...
Which goes back to empathy. We talked about empathy before. Being able to understand someone's feelings.
Right, like you ain't gotta agree, but just understand where I'm coming from.
You don't have to agree, but can you at least understand?
And then listen to me. Don't listen to me to respond. Listen to me.
Yeah. To understand.
I don't need your perspective. I don't need your opinion. Just listen to what I'm saying. And then you can take it, receive it, process it how you feel. I don't care after that point. Just hear me.
Yeah, that diffuses a lot of situations. Yeah. Like even speaking on me and Jazz's experience, like, we've had a lot of situations where we were bumping heads because we didn't add that element of understanding how the other arrived at the conclusion that they did. And once we finally were able to add that into our relationship or add that into our effective communication, we've had less and less squabbles, and we've had more and more like productive conversations about things that are going on, not just with us, but in the world as well. So yeah, that understanding, it takes your relationship it takes a conversation from being an argument to
a conversation.
Just a conversation.
And you know what's crazy? And I never thought about this until this conversation. How did we get to where we literally, prior to the discussion, we literally perceive our ability to understand to be synonymous or equal, you're right. That doesn't mean that. Because I understand you doesn't mean you're right. That simply means I have the ability to listen to what you're saying, process it, and then consider what you said in correlation to what...
Yeah.
Like...
That's why I've always been of the belief that there's really no such thing as right or wrong. The only thing that really exists is perspective. Like, for instance, let's say you grew up Christian, right? So
I didn't, but...
Well, your current belief is Christian.
Correct.
And you believe in God, right? But let's say in your upbringing, you were taught or molded to be a Christian. That's the environment you grew up in. So you believing in God is right for you. But someone who grows up in the South Side of Chicago, where religion was never introduced into their household, they were raised under a different belief system, is kill or be killed. You know what I mean? Who's to say that his belief system is right, is wrong compared to yours, because he was taught something completely different. Now, can we understand why it became kill or be killed? Well, he grew up in an environment where every summer his friends or someone close to him or someone he didn't know, they end up dying because it's survival of the fittest. So he had to adopt that mentality to become a survivor. So who is to say he's wrong for killing when all he knows is, if I don't kill, I'm going to die myself. So we may not agree with someone else's lifestyle or method, but at the very least understand how they came to that conclusion. And like I said, it'll take a conversation from being an argument to a conversation. Now, if you want to introduce your perspective to see if that may be something or an alternative for them to decide to live by, that's fine.
Communication to do so.
To do so. Bring it to them. Don't shove it down their throat, but bring it to them. If they accept it, cool. If not, they're free to still. That's just them. They're free to still do what they want.
The reason people shove is because they don't have understanding, or they equate understanding with acceptance, or right or wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's not. The two are not the same.
All right. Let's see. Monique said that she was pushing right back at you to Miss Alicia when she told her that she was a 10. Miss Tawanda says, that's good, Poe. Miss Alicia says, exactly, Monique. Monique says, yes, y'all sound good. Miss Alicia says, understanding can go so many routes. Where love is just a good relationship because understanding creates the conditions for love.
So what would you rate understanding?
I guess I can give it a maybe 9.5, 10. Because, you know, it might not be for everybody to understand. And so I feel like maybe you can't, I guess, force somebody to understand or care about the situation or really just listen and hear you. So it's high.
But you don't feel like everybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
So let me re-ask, because what you're saying is absolutely correct. However, in my opinion, I think you're rating it based on other people's actions and not how important it is for you to bring this to a relationship.
Okay.
So let me ask it like this. When we're discussing what we bring to the table, do you think that you and the relationship would benefit from you bringing understanding to that relationship?
Yes.
How important do you think it is for you to bring understanding to this table in a relationship?
A 10.
Cool, gotcha.
Thank you.
Now, based on your perspective of other people not understanding, I definitely understand how you got down to a 9.5. Right. But on the individual level, these are skills that you got to scrap that on.
Yeah, because I like to be that type of person that understands or tries to understand, because again, somebody could just, need to get something off their chest, or they just maybe need to vent, and I probably won't understand, but I'm at least there to listen and let them know that I am here. So I get it. So I feel like that is a high quality to have.
And imagine if both of us had it, you know what I'm saying? Like you bought it and they bought it. So like we good. Because all this other stuff we're not going to be on the same. But if we can have that one, we can deal with we can work on the rest of it.
Right. The rest of it will fall into place.
Yeah, we can work on the rest of it. But if I ain't got no understanding, I'm right back into that mentality of you lacking, you this, you that. I got it, but you don't.
All right, you guys. So what are you rating understanding? I have given it a 10. Adrian, you're giving it a 10. And Aaron, you're giving it a 10. Oh, look at all the perfect scores. Miss Alicia says she's giving understanding a 12.
She's breaking the scale. All right. And then I think the last one we're going to discuss today is nurturing. Nurturing.
What you finna say?
Nothing.
Oh, say it, because I already got an answer. Go ahead.
I want to hear.
Say what you finna say.
I wasn't finna say nothing.
Say what you finna say.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I asked. What was that?
I was just thinking.
That's
my thinking phase.
What
of what we're about to talk about with nurturing.
Okay, and
I wasn't about to say anything. I really wasn't.
So the concept or the thought was, how is nurturing and cultivating different? Okay. It looked like that was in your eyes.
No.
Shall we?
You should start.
Well, and then let's let her start this time.
No,
Listen.
So when you hear nurturing, what do you?
Yes, that's what we wanted to know.
When you heard nurturing, what do you think in regards to bringing nurturing to a relationship?
Can I get a definition, please? Sure. Just so that I'm clear about this response. Oh, Miss Alicia said it.
What she say?
You said it, Miss Alicia, and I was trying not to, but I want to understand first.
What she say?
So she said women are the
I knew it, yo! I knew it!
Mail paper.
I knew it, yo!
I need a fresh sheet.
Not a fresh sheet.
I knew it, son.
I was going down that path, but
what this is.
but
It's
I
a court
wanted
order. A court order. But what's that got to do with it?
Sorry.
I wanted to get the definition first, so that I'll be. So I was going and then we got Miss Angel. She said, yeah, she was gonna say the same thing.
Wow, son.
You know what?
So before you say
we was
anything,
all on the
let's
same
just
page.
focus on getting through with this.
Okay.
Right.
Because this is gonna be a whole.
But I'm waiting for the
session.
definition.
So
for
don't
nurturing.
touch on that. It's gonna be a whole nother session.
Can I get the definition for nurturing, please?
All right.
Or nurture.
Nurture. Care for and encourage the growth or development of. Care for and encourage the growth or development of. Another definition is help or encourage the development of, cherish.
Okay.
And so they said that women are automatic nurturers, correct?
Yes.
That's wild.
It's built in.
We respect y'all's opinion.
I do. I respect it.
Y'all, this paper that he's writing on, I'm a little nervous. Look, so Claude Jordan said, I'm waiting to hear what they say about this. They ready, y'all. The people are ready.
We don't have time today.
we don't.
We do have time.
This is going to be an
today.
entirely
It's gonna be
different talking
a
out
whole
session.
nother session. It's gonna be a whole nother session.
So while he's writing, so when you think of nurturing, what do you think of? What they said?
I just said I was going in that direction as well. That's why I wanted to get the definition first. So where are
question,
y'all going with this?
You in your mind and whoever those women's mind, you think for women the quality or the characteristic of nurturing is automatic. That's what y'all believe.
Yeah, or just built in.
You're doing it.
How else are we talking about
No,
it?
you
son?
can't. Don't do that.
Okay.
Let me lead us into
Monique-
it.
Okay.
So we finna dip in and we're gonna
Monique
dip out
said-
because that's a whole nother video. And if we
Monique-
started this video
Come
for be 2
on,
hours, I got to go
Adrian,
home.
Okay.
chill, bro.
Let me get off of that. We're gonna dip in.
Monique
it,
said she's
and
ready to hear it too.
listen. Okay. We finna only deal.
Maybe we should do a different word.
No, we gonna deal it. We finna deal with it. Cause I got the perfect way to get in and get out of it.
Angel
Okay.
says
Okay.
most women are gonna encourage their mate more so than the man, only because I feel like men tend to shut down more. Miss Alicia says men can nurture by making others feel good and comforted, and they strive to listen well to others so they can make the other person feel cared about and special.
I'm gonna need that same comment in the other talking out session. But thank you
Please,
so
thank
much,
you.
Miss Alicia. But listen, let's bring it back. We are only dealing with how important it
Okay.
is
Here you go.
for nurturing to be brought to the table.
Not about who does
Not
it
about
more.
who does it more. Because we're going to deal with that
On
in
another
another
video.
session.
All right, you guys.
So let me explain.
How we are rating nurturing?
Let me explain how.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Okay. Because that almost went
Left.
left
Real
so bad. Look, when we said nothing, all I heard was guns coming out. Like, boy, people are ready.
Bruh.
No. So let's get in and get out.
Okay, let's get in.
All right. I'm going to use it in comparison to cultivation because it's the only way I know how to not make it go left. So to cultivate is the ability to have a certain skill and
Develop.
give that to someone else as they're trying to learn and obtain it, right?
Or acquire
Or
skill.
acquire that. To nurture is kind of, for me, it goes hand in hand with cultivation because you can cultivate something but not have a nurturing atmosphere about it. Like you have said in the past, talk to me and not at me. So if I'm trying to give you effective communication, my effectiveness is my ability to articulate my words and properly explain my thought process of how I arrived at that conclusion. But if I don't have the nurturing aspect added to that effective communication, it's going to be projected as aggression. But if I can add a nurturing aspect to my effective communication, you're going to be more receptive of that. And now I am cultivating you in the area of effective communication by the nurturing atmosphere that I've given it to you in. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're the one doing the cultivating.
I mean, cultivating is for both of us, but
Right, but I mean-
if I'm bringing it to the table,
Right.
I just explained how I included it
Right.
in my list of things to
For
bring.
effective
But you also need to have the ability to cultivate you also need to have a nurturing atmosphere when you're bringing the thing that you're bringing to the table as well.
Correct. I agree.
That is all we were talking about. Put the guns up.
All right, ladies. They told us
this is not a male or female situation.
Holster your weapons.
Put your weapon away.
Because they was ready.
Y'all was proud. I didn't even know we had guns. Like, people were blazing,
yo. Can we have a conversation without going there?
Oh, yo.
Miss Alicia says, yes, Adrian, I understand that you are saying by example, attack the problem and not the person.
Right.
Falana Coleman says she loves the shirts.
Thank you. So let's just nurturing is, for me, is a 10 because I can have all those other skills, but if I don't have that nurturing presentation about it, none of those are going to be received. So it's a 10 for me.
All right, you guys, how do y'all rate it with nurture? I'm going to go ahead.
I feel it.
I think I'm going to go ahead and give it.
I was here for it.
And they was ready for y'all. They was ready to hear y'all respond to that.
That's going to be good.
I like that. I like that interaction, you guys. But anyway, back to it. Nurture, as far as the rank, I'm going to give it a 10. It is important to bring that to the table. And it goes hand in hand definitely with effective communication. So yeah, and sympathy and empathy, like it wraps all into one. So yeah, I'll give that a 10.
And it's crazy how I just thought about, and I didn't never consider it. I can have the ability to effectively communicate, but it's never going to be perceived as effective if I don't have the nurturing atmosphere when I communicate it.
Right.
So it kind of cancels it out.
It does. Mm-hmm. So you give it a what?
10.
10. So we all 10s around here. Perfect scores again. All right. So Shay gives nurture a 10. Alicia gives nurture a 10. Falana just tuned in. Monique gives it a 10. And Angel definitely a 10.
Cool. So you dip in, dip out, bro. Don't get in.
Yeah.
That was making it for you.
The water was hot.
That was making it.
Trying to stick that toe in.
We're going to stop it right there?
Yeah, we're going to leave.
All right.
Claude Jordan says, I think you have to learn these things because you think it should come naturally.
Oh, these things are definitely traits that has to be learned. Like, this stuff has to be learned. And the sad part about it, prior to the Talk It Out sessions, I haven't heard information presented, in regards to what do you bring to the table, because the mainstream media and parents and grandparents, they always talk about make sure you got a job or make sure she can cook, but we on what, like number 20?
Yeah.
And these are not things that me and my personal experience, I've never heard people talk about bringing this stuff to the table. It's always cooking, cleaning, good sex, and being a provider.
Like, bring the basics to the table. Like, at least be able to do these things.
Right.
Yeah, I think the world or society gets caught up in this is how things have been done for so long.
So let's keep it going.
And this is just how it is. But they don't consider what more can we get out of this life.
Or they don't consider how have those things been benefiting?
Right. Like, where has it gotten us thus far?
Like,
so why not try and explore other options?
Can we agree that if the things that we brought up, relationships, marriages, would not be at an all-time high for a breakup and divorce? Mm-hmm. Can we collectively agree on that, right? Yeah. But the things that society perpetuates, those things are still being held at a high regard, and then the rates are still also increasing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I call foolishness.
Miss Alicia says...
Thought he was coming with some philosophical...
Nope.
Miss Alicia says, this was good. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Falana says, agreed. There are a lot of things that come into play with nurturing. Angel says, these are things that are learned every day as long as you're in a relationship. Falana says, exactly. And Monique says, exactly. Claude says, LOL, right.
All right, well, we'll stop it right here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for part 3 of What Do You Bring to the Table. Catch us next week, same time, same place for part 4, which should end the series out on a high note.
It's a lot on this table.
It's a lot on this table.
Are the legs holding up?
Right. So we just gonna have to make a bigger table.
Right, gotta get a bigger table.
If you were unable to catch our previous videos, like I said, you can go to my YouTube channel, type in Aaron Tate, AARONTATE. You should see my face. Once you click on my page, you should have access to all of the previous videos that we've done. Also, go follow us on VERB TikTok. What time is it right now?
What time? No, they're asking what time.
Oh, well, we usually go live between 4:45 and 5 o'clock. So catch us next week between 4:45 and 5 o'clock. Please, you do not want to miss it.
Go watch the other videos.
Go.
So this is part 3
This
of What Do You Bring to the Table.
The last
This is part 3.
So if you did not catch part 1, part 2, go to my YouTube page, or Adrian will also post it again on his Facebook and watch those videos. So
and those videos are compiled of 4 to 5 other things to bring to the table. We're like at 20 at this point.
Right.
That doesn't include cooking, cleaning, good sex, or a job.
And yeah, like I said, catch us next week, same time, same place. Follow us on TikTok, just this VERB, v.e.r.b. Right now, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to our future selves.
Bye.
One day we'll look back on this and wonder why we would like this in the first place. We'll holler at you.
Bye, you guys.